Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, E-Funk, thinking right out here in my lab where I do what I do for you. I got a good lesson for you. This is Sun Boost Part 2, but the title is Christhood and Horsehood. But you know how we do it. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. It's going to be a good lesson for you. I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where you're going with this? So I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not that they know not, is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself, and always, to my yacht, be true. I'm in this book and I'm tearing it up because I've been beating it up, reading it and going back and forth through it. Right thinkers, let's talk about Christhood and Horsehood. Get that right? Yeah. And okay, Horsehood and Christhood, excuse me, is the goal of right thinking philosophy. When I get done, you should understand what I'm saying. So my goal now is to get you to understand my point when I made the statement. But this is another symbol, okay? Another symbol. That's the sign of Heru or Horus. They keep saying Horus. I just have it by saying Heru, so it's the same person. Okay, but you see the halo with the Uraeus? Okay, that's the sign of a man who been what? Enlightened. He been anointed. Okay, that's the concept. And with that, I'm gonna break it down for you. Hopefully, I got a little paragraph here, good information. I'm gonna do a lot of ad libbing to this one because this is right down my alley, so to speak. Now, I just showed you a sign of the Uraeus. They call it the halo of Horushood and Christhood. They're telling you that it's a consciousness, it's a head thing. So the headdress for Horus is the falcon, and they put the halo, which is God, the sun, just, and they put the Uraeus around it, protected to let you know the third eye is open and he's protected. Let's talk about that. I've been trying to tell you Christians for the longest. This is for you. The word Christ, start with that, is not a name. His name wasn't Jesus Christ. Christ was his last name. Christ is not a name. It's a title. Just like vice president, okay, is a title. Christ means, now let's get to the definition of Christ. That's the best part. Now, he or she whose head, again, is anointed with oil. Oil meaning knowledge. Okay, so sometimes we read stuff, and instead of somebody understanding, or when they see them, they don't understand. They don't even question it. They just go along with it. Well, what the oil mean? I don't know. So how you even gonna understand what the statement is saying if you don't understand what it's saying? Christ is like an ointment, which is the head, which with oil. Or they consider you being what? The anointed one. It ain't literal. Horus, sage, saints, Buddhas, Christ, Krishna, etc. These are all enlightened beings. Christ conscious, spiritual discipline, spiritual enlightenment, whatever you want to call it. But that's what it is. It's not literal. You make it literal by manifesting it for yourself and becoming Christ-like. Okay? Simple. These are terms, okay, or names to what? To describe. Again, to describe what? The same thing. Heruhood or Christhood. They still refer to what? Certain qualities that you have to exhibit. That's exhibited, by mythological or historical personalities. Right there. Mythological meaning they manifested. Historical meaning is some credence to it. But when you have no historical proof and you want me to just believe the mythology, no, I need to know it's the mythology. It's simply that or allegory. Don't have me thinking it's literal when it's not. Clarity and understanding. Understand that we know our Egyptian gods are mythological gods, but the principle, the manifestation of you makes it real. So we understand that. We don't have no problem with that. Moving on, I want you to understand it's the qualities, the characteristics of each God aspect of your character. I'm trying to get you to master, hence self-mastery. This is telling you, this is the after effect. This ain't telling you how to do it. I'm taking you step by step to get here. My goal right here, right there in philosophy goal is to get you to Christhood, Horushood, aka know thyself. Get the concept? Hope you do. So let's go back. You got, or they either mythological or historical personalities, and they're used as symbolic representations. So that a potential state of what? To get you enlightenment of every sentient being in the universe, meaning every aspect of your character, they label it with a God aspect or concept that you can learn, manifest, and master for yourself. Well, you got a bunch of gods. Again, ignorance manifesting itself through verbal saith don't have a clue what you're talking about. Some people listen to that, and we hear that all the time. Moving on. But understand, Christians, I got no problem with y'all. Christ with an S. I mean, it ain't just one. Now, don't tell me, please don't try to make the argument for Jesus being God in the flesh, and that's the only one. It don't fit. Christ with an S are who? Those, not them one. No, those persons who have attained complete what? There you go. How do you get Christhood? You obtain knowledge of self, practice it daily, understand the purification of their psychological personality. You're learning and you're manifesting truth for yourself. They experience what we call cosmic consciousness. You know about the universe. You understand it. The experience of being what? One. Everything is on the one. I've been at 11:11 every day for the last 5 years, so I understand the concept. Got it from George, not from them. Okay, understand that everything is on the one where I come from. But where we at? My face. Okay, I'm dying. This level crazy. Okay, okay. When your state of being, when you identify with yourself, one with your higher self, which is with everything in existence, God. This is the state of, you ready? Supreme bliss. Hotep. That's the end result for good work that you put in. All that, y'all telling you work for God to say, well done, my good and faithful servant. What did you do? Moving on. But when you reach supreme bliss, that comes, how you get that? That comes from becoming one with what? One's essential nature, aka higher self, or we know it, God. This is a state which cannot be achieved. You ready? This state of becoming one with God cannot be achieved through earthly pleasures. Physical pleasures ain't gonna get it done for you. Or relationships with a pretty woman or A good man ain't going to get it done, okay? As explained in the Egyptian book of Coming Forth by Day, they tell you those who live in virtue, aka Mayat, with a pure heart, aka Makaru, will know all there is to know. Hence, you know all when you know thyself. And be what? All there is to be. When you're one with God, you're everything. But through their Heruhood, what's this? Attaining those qualities of Heru, which are, you ready? These are things that you practice that Mayat lay out for you. Truth, righteousness, justice, inner vision, reciprocity. All these is called it what? The eye of Heru. Seeing yourself in that light by what? Turning the eye, opening and seeing thyself and knowing thyself by perfecting oneself with these qualities. That's how. And what happened? They will have, this is how you defeat the enemies. Who's your enemy? Your ego, your lower self. And it says here, you have defeated the enemy of who? Osiris. Good, what killed Osiris? His ego, which he wasn't aware of. So he got a little relaxed. He got caught slipping, as they tell you. And what happened? Greed, ignorance, impiety, egoism, as personified by what? Your ego set, which is considered the evil one. The hieroglyphic for Set is a man with a hatchet to his head. I want to modify, make the young kids with a damn gun to the head. It's the same concept, meaning self-destruction. Okay? When you are able or willing to hurt yourself, for whatever pleasures you're going to gain, that's not smart at all. And that's what the ego will do. It will sacrifice. Why? There's no God there. Remember, ego is the acronym for edging God out. Anybody who's not God conscious, I don't want to deal with. Moving on. Don't mean no, just God conscious. You ain't got to be a Muslim, Christian, no, none of that. But do you believe in a higher power? Do you believe in God? If you don't, we got nothing to talk about. That's all. Moving on. I ain't got a problem with that. I don't care what your religion is. I ain't got a problem with religion. I got a problem with those who don't believe in what is. So I'm not gonna waste my time with y'all. So understand this. Salvation. Again, me arguing with you about no, you work for your own salvation. I'm taking care of mine. And salvation comes from, you ready? Attaining knowledge of self. Oh no, Heruhood. Same thing. Christhood. Same thing. That is what? Becoming Heru. Through what? This is what I want my right thinkers to understand. You get that through a life of virtue, righteousness, obtaining wisdom, and showing courage, and more importantly, obtaining self-knowledge. Can't beat that. I'm like Hammer when it comes to knowledge of self. You can't touch this. Why? I'm good at this. Those who become, and understand this, you can be just as good, because those who become a Heru, a Christ, or a Buddha will have obtained consciousness, aka knowledge of self or God conscious, Buddha conscious, whatever you want to call it, but you become conscious, meaning now you know. Gnosis, just gave that lesson too. But that survives, and with that knowledge, your consciousness, that's what survives what? Death. That's what goes on back. Why? If you ain't conscious, you can't go home not knowing who the hell you are. Up there, everybody knows themselves. Like my man, don't you want to go where everybody know your name? If you make it there, everybody know you. Okay, simple. But that's what survives after death. Well, how do we know what happened to death? Nobody came and tell us. No nuts. It's a concept. Get with the movement or just keep coming back until, I guess I got to figure the concept thing out. Yeah, you think? So understand that. But when you survive death and your conscious, because you have knowledge of self, become awakened, your conscious will now live on, after the death of the body. That's what I've been trying to explain to you. I learned that a long time ago, and it is true as it was 1,000 years ago as it is today. Why? Being free from what? You ready? Ignorance. Our biggest bugaboo. Our biggest enemy is within ourselves because of ignorance. We suffer because of ignorance. Ignorance, which what? Leads to reincarnation. How you like that? If you want to stay ignorant, you want to keep coming back here and repeating a life cycle, what they tell you the goal is to what? Know thyself. So if you want to continue this, don't deal with me. Why? I'm trying to help you get out of this loop. You obviously want to stay in it. Be my guest. I'm moving on. Let's go. I'm about to wrap this thing up. I'm almost there. I had the whole page. Good. I got another lesson, but that's for the next time. But this, I'm about almost home with this one. Again, ignorance of self leads to reincarnation. Simple as that. Death of the conscience, you're going to get a new fresh start. Simple. Why? If it don't get enlightened, it's too going with the body. Okay? Moving on. So there is, understand this, no one Christ. I'm trying to get that point across to my Christians. There is no one Christ. Why? Everyone can potentially become a Christ. They're going to teach y'all that in your Christian concept? Everyone potentially can become a Christ. How? If they follow the path of what? Masters such as Heru, Jesus, Buddha, Lao, Zen, etc. Or the path laid out by who? Other modern day masters. Again, somebody who know what they're doing. That's who you want to follow, and that's the lesson. I got the phone call coming. No, I got one more thing to do. Call you right back. When cosmic consciousness, meaning you start learning and get the understanding of nature, is attained, that's called anointing. That's the anointing. It occurs when the the etheric oil to secrete it from the energy centers, cerebral spinal fluid, into your brain, which is the pineal gland, hangs out. And now the body circulatory system, the astral body within the skeleton, inside the skeleton, the nervous system, now including your heart, the mystical seat of the soul. God dwells in the heart of man. When man becomes conscious of himself, it becomes a heart-mind coherence, and now you're thinking as one. That's the goal, and that's my point. The body and the mind are transcendent. Where? And one experiences, you ready? A higher level of existence. You're not just human. Beyond that, beyond the joys and the sorrows of the world. What go on don't get me one way or another. I used to live that roller coaster ride. Let's get that lesson. When you flat line out, you good to go. That's where you want to be. Christhood, Horus Hood, spiritual enlightenment, knowing thyself means to attain the beatific vision of oneself as what? God. I can't see myself being God. I'm just a human. Yeah, ignorance. Again, one becomes consciously established in what? The realization that one is God. This is the contrast to what? The masses of people who are what? Ignorant, who are aware only that what? They are perishable human beings of the flesh. I'm just a human. I'll never be perfect. I'm just only human. Cop out. Ignorance. That's why you'll be back to do it again. You haven't learned life lesson, which is what? Know thyself. That's the lesson. That's my point. And I'm closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus the day. So I never know that my right thinkers passed away. I'll be back.